Okay. Also seeing that Valkyrie in the, what is that, the kitchen again?
Yeah, I believe
Just
so.
very good roams coming off of the defending side throughout the beginning of the round. Wasting a lot of that precious time to actually allow that last part of this previous round to actually happen, because they were held out for so long that they've had to retake in such a short amount of time that chaos had to ensue.
And
Oh,
it
the
looks
Twitch not going to see the Valkyrie playing in, or is that the Valkyrie in basement? Or is it Mozzie?
not quite sure. Ooh, Valkyrie getting taken out. Nice headshot from Crux, hitting the flick. Just
So it's going to
able
be
to
the
get that
Mozzie in the
out.
basement.
Yeah, and it looks like
Probably.
Mozzie is downed, actually. Oh no,
Oh,
just at 1 health. So close to being
one health
down.
and a dream, as everyone puts it.
Yeah, a sneeze away from death as Crux on the roam clear right now, trying to take that out so that they have the ability to focus on site take. Just over a minute and 15 left in the round. Hydra a little bit of low health peeking into Trophy.
Watching that flank from main stairs going to be very key, especially with that Mozzie, who's I think been reset and now is at 20 health. Is still on the roam. Oh, quick pick from the Mozzie, putting in work even at low health. Don't think he picked up the second one though, who is most likely rotated away.
Crux made his way back up onto second floor, going to be trying to clear out the bathroom into Astronomy with a pincer attack from BC and Hydra, but no, Hydra taken down. A quick headshot from Alec, and that's all they wrote.
And a quick trade-off right afterwards. But now putting them in a 1v4 situation, and with low health, not much you can do. As we can see with Baka finishing off the Zofia very quickly.
Yeah, nice shots there from Baka, being able to connect those, especially switching to the pistol. Moving on to Dining and Kitchen as their third site, sort of the off-site here. So that'll be a little bit of a tougher hold for Arizona moving into this round. Choosing to bring a mute this time sort of work for the linear denial on the walls. Although that will be able to be broken from above should Madison try to do that.
Interesting pick onto the Clash. Now having Zephron, oh, that was a bait, going back into the Valkyrie. Hopefully trying to bait the IQ off so she won't have much to find with those Valkyrie cams, but clearly sticking with the IQ going to be useful for everyone else on the defending side.
With the round getting underway, going to be interesting to see how Arizona tries to set up this offsite hold. Not really any too common spots besides generic reinforcements. The Valkyrie camp setup, I assume, will be rather interesting in combination, especially with the Prismas of Alibi, a rather uncommon operator we haven't seen too much of so far this season.
Interesting how the idea behind Alibi's gadget is, but still fooling many players. That could be useful for early picks into the round.
Looks like overall the setup for Arizona is taking a little bit longer than expected. Still a lot of gadgets going down after the start of the round, but nothing too major so far. Drone work already coming out from Madison as Imperial and Kazi sort of make their way through Master on those drones, clearing it out, making sure that there's nothing going to stop Hydra from being able to ult in quite yet, although they do notice the one in bathroom.
Alibi still gonna try and hold for as long as possible upstairs. Oh, never mind. She's now back downstairs, so the roam from master bedroom gonna be quickly pushed out.
Bud making their way back downstairs, already back inside of the sort of fireplace study, as the BC making their way into Master with the breach charge. Going to be trying to open up some sight lines and make their way onto their second floor clear.
Was that a C4 that just went off? I think we
believe
saw a
so.
C4 go off to try and push out that IQ, but not gonna work. So that we still have the nitro from the mute on the board, so I'm assuming it was. Oh, so that was not a C4 that went off.
It looks like Arizona is just going to be playing it pretty cautiously here as they try to sort of just play for time. Just over a minute left on the clock. Nothing really traded from either sides quite yet.
Yeah, it's been over half the round. Still much more to take over with their sites. They have a lot of rooms cleared, but they still haven't made much progress on that main room that they do need to clear. The Zephron, though, gonna have a flank up, some picks going off for Zephron, and he's still up on the board, which is great for him because now the attackers have to worry about more pressure from every which angle. We're going to be seeing a very late push into this round. Either plant is going to be going off with overtime like on until the timer, or there's going to be mass chaos that's about to ensue.
It looks like Alex trying to go on drone here to try to operate those Maestro cams. There's not a lot of time left to be using them to sort of deny any plants that might be happening. Zerfon taking some shots, very low health. Going to be just able to get out as BC gets traded off by Bud. Bud at full health. Hydra taking shots down. One taking out two, but no time running out for Madison as they get the plant down. Are able to get the diffuser down, and it's up to just Bud trying to clear out the two remaining players from Madison.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Does still have those prismas available, but going to be in a very tight spot with the diffuser where it's at. Impact's going down, but not going to be able to make out the crossfire. Taking one, but not the second. Nice job from Madison to take that round.
Yeah, they had a quick plant down, and as soon as plant was down, it was all in favor for them. But at the beginning of this round, it looked like it was going to be more defender-sided.
Definitely, and with that plant being in such an inopportune spot for Arizona, such a tough area to try to retake, that angle so hard to try to fight, especially in a 1v2 like Madison had set up.
See pretty standard picks now from Arizona. With the Cade, Valkyrie, Legion, they're going to be going Aviator. So I'm assuming is it Wisconsin? Oh my gosh. I still need to get Wisconsin. Yes, so sorry. I'm out of it right now. Wisconsin is predicting that, bringing the Thermite and Thatcher.
Worth noting that Arizona sticking with the alibi this time around. Going to be choosing to bring that on site, especially working in Aviator games. The MX4 Storm is a very strong weapon for sure, especially comboed with a 3-speed operator. Going to be an interesting use of that, especially when compared to their previous hold.
Seeing pretty default setup for this hold. Nothing too interesting to note as of right now. If we could follow the Valkyrie, see where she puts those cams.
Would definitely be an interesting thing to see because of how much intel those can provide or not, depending on how easy they are to find.
The floating camera under the table, always a good one. It's a classic.
Looks like second one going to be
Behind
placed.
the bush, on the shelf.
Smart placement there, trying to cover it up a little bit, but still have a good sight line. Hydra already doing some droning inside. Will be a good amount of coverage going down as Imperial and BC once again making their way inside of Master. Taking shots from Bud already. Looks like no damage going down. Bud will now have to fall back inside of Astronomy with the rotates available to them via the impacts. Nitro Cell getting prepped from the Valkyrie, not going to be able to connect quite yet, and it seems like Valkyrie does know that and not going to choose to throw it. Sound cue is getting a little bit too quiet. Bud fighting for their life on Astronomy stairs as the hatch starts raining bullets down at them from Akazu. Not going to connect, though, as the Claymore goes down to cover that rotate.
Oh, quick pick from the Valkyrie onto the Twitch. Now that's a lot of utility that you get to save. I believe both Maestro Scams are still up, making it more difficult for the attackers to get rid of them. You're going to be having to use either some of those very useful Thatchers or Zophias.
It's like drone work once again from Madison, showing the importance of that intel for them as they do realize that there is an operator or in Maestro Cam up on second floor that will get taken out very quickly, making sure that that will not be there to stop them in later. Baka once again left to hold down the classical hallway against 2 or 3 attackers as they choose to start making their site execute about a minute left in the round.
A very clean take, or not that clean, decently clean take into control of 90. Gonna be interesting to see how they switch up their attack this time to win it.
And it looks like the sort of change that they're going with, at least at the moment, is opening up that vault wall so that they have a sight line into all of the rotates between sight. Bud having to try to fight their way up red stairs as Hydra is able to take out 1, but getting traded out. That's 2 kills for Arizona. Make that 1 traded back for Madison as Imperial takes out 1. Bud taking back a 2nd, and BC just barely losing that fight. Arizona, nice way to retake that round right at the end.
I'm gonna say they had the favor through most of the round. Undoubtedly gonna hold that, especially when you're going down to the halfway through the round and you're already down 1 crucial player.
Absolutely, and especially losing your roamers early on makes holding sight just that much more difficult, but the rotate coming back from first floor proved to be ever so crucial.
Gonna be seeing pretty much the same picks once again. They're switching the Echo and Maestro almost, depending on what site is more needed and how much more you can protect those Maestros from sledges and other utility that will be sent towards it.
And the yokai drones from Echo going to be very nice to have, especially on a site like Trophy and Statuary, where you need to be able to rotate them in and out of the site depending on how much intel you might need. Especially with the IQ being brought so consistently, going to make them very priority targets as well.
Gonna see that quick rotate being made into Astronomy. Again, a lot of the sites on Villa are pretty universal when it comes to their setups. Just because there's not much walls you can really work with that are just random throughout the sites.
Right. It looks like 3 or 2 defenders trying to be playing inside or at least close to Astronomy here as the Cade Artillas are set up on that triple wall to block that off. Thatcher going to be once again very useful here.
Gonna see some Valkyrie cams going into both sides of site. And oh, the cheeky corner ones which it allows you to see both sides of the wall very clearly, and also a little bit harder to spot because when you're usually taking over a room, you're not really looking up at the corners of the room for Valkyrie cams.
Looks like Bud set up on the kitchen counter here Gonna be choosing to play with any sort of food that might come into the kitchen. As Alex has the first yokai set up inside a master bedroom, watching for anyone to vault in, possibly get a little bit of disruption for the Nitro Cell from below, played by Zerfon.
Interesting to see a Valkyrie taken for the C4 below, other than a Pulse where you can more reliably scan and ping off those drones to get more accurate C4s.
Ooh, and a good amount of utility taken out by BC there as he's able to demolish the yokai with that scanner. Zerfon, however, does connect the Nitro Cell onto BC, a good trade back, as now the second yokai drone will be relatively safe.
Yeah, the IQ being a pivotal player in their attack, trying to get rid of those pesky yokais that will be definitely utilized later on in the round if the Echo is still in fact up. Believe Bud's taking a one-on-one gunfight with the Ash, gonna be playing prone, and due to the prone not having a lot of movement, and he's gonna be taken out very quickly. And the pick also coming off onto the Thermite, putting them now in a 4v3, looking very favorable. Oh, now it's a 4v2 with the Ash being picked off by Zerfon, making it very favorable for the defenders right now, with only a minute left in the round.
Zerfon doing a nice job of being able to rotate out of kitchen after taking out one, and then using that to their advantage to take out a second. Imperial able to take out one, or Kazi able to take out one, but immediately traded back with the second being dropped.
Great hold by them for sure. What do you think you would have done differently for that hold or that push into Statuary to actually succeed?
I think they had a good idea behind it, trying to get two people pushing in from separate angles. I mean, you generally don't want to funnel too many people in through the same entrance. However, when you're in a numbers disadvantage, especially when you are in 2v4 and you know that every entrance is going to be watched, even just taking an extra 3 or 4 seconds to drone if they had one available, or use maybe a Zofia concussion, or even an EMP to try to disable some cameras.
Also,
It was really just a tough spot for them to be in.
the Thatcher nades could also be pretty helpful, just to hide movement, just like directional noise, because as soon as that goes off, you have a couple seconds, like if you have a window to work with, that all sound is kind of blocked off.
Absolutely. Once again, moving back to kitchen and dining, that will be Arizona once again on the off-site, and the final site that they will be playing on defense with a rather impressive 4-1 scoreline at the moment. It'll be up to Madison to try to even this out, or otherwise they'll be down by 4 rounds going into their defensive side of this map.
Note for the attackers though, it is a pretty defender-sided map, kind of harder to attack a lot of these sites, so even grabbing one round off attack, hopefully a second for them, could be pretty crucial for the round, like this match itself.
It looks like Zerfon going to be trying to get those cameras set up inside of the sort of painting storage room, as Baka is going to be using some of the goo mines when they regenerate to cover off the laundry room, as that was such a crucial spot in the last round. Refire from Akazi almost taking out the health bar of Zerfon, but not going to be able to connect quite yet, giving them enough time to rotate off of site as Bud is able to drop back down to first floor as well. Overall, very aggressive attack here from Madison as they try to secure second floor with a vengeance.
A lot less like planning for the attackers, but it seems like they're just gonna try and strong arm it through sight, just to be able to get as much control as possible.
And that just might be the aggression that they need to take this round once again, as that's somewhat similar to the strategy they used in the past, where they rushed in through the laundry room and were able to get the plant off very quickly. Looks like this time, however, Zerfon quite prepared for that, with hiding behind that deployable shield, does have the nitro cell available.
It's always interesting to see how teams will adjust on the fly to trying to rehold a different site, or the same site, to hopefully provide a good result.
Madison, as you saw there on the screen, just now getting an official spot on the bomb as they are able to take their first kill of the round as well. About 2 minutes in, Crux taking out one, breaking the top of the walls from second floor.
With only one player off the board for the defenders and a minute left, it still could go either way. If the defenders just hunker down for the next 55 seconds of the round, they could pretty much take it just by holding angles.
And that's definitely, the longer that Wisconsin waits to try to pull off this attack, the longer ASU will have to start baiting down the clock and getting even more prepped for their defensive hold right at the end. BC having to take some time to take out that goo mine as they start to sort of funnel into laundry. This could be very good or very bad for Madison, depending on how effectively they're able to use these last few precious 20 seconds to their advantage.
Zerfon quickly falling back on that. It seemed like there was 4 people in that push, but him falling back won't do enough, and there's going to be chaos in sight. Pings will be going off on the Echo. The Echo is just going to be sitting on his drone and cancel that plant, and it's going to be the end of the round for Arizona, picking up their last win needed on defense.
And what a strong first half for Arizona coming into part 2 of this map. 5-1 scoreline, only 2 rounds needed for them to take home map 1.
One thing that Arizona could have done a little bit better is just denying that push through the laundry room and kitchen, because you just put another person on Art Studio at the back, and just like an ACOG, so either like your Echo pushed further away from sight on his drones, you could just have him peek that doorway and get easy picks, because they were all just kind of looking towards the laundry room.
And it's worth noting that both times that kitchen was played, granted it is an offsite, but both times Madison was able to get the plant off just inside of laundry entrance. So, as you mentioned, just a little bit more attention to that doorway could have saved Arizona a little bit of trouble. Not that they weren't able to hold the round, as we saw, taking it the second time, learning from and adapting to the previous.
Gonna see almost an identical setup to for the new defenders now, with interesting differences of noteworthy being the dock for the Valkyrie and the alibi, you could say, for the Jaeger.
And overall, a pretty similar team comp on both sides here, as they seem to basically switch players and not operators. The one major difference being the Capitao being played instead of 6-picked from Arizona.
It's gonna be interesting to see how the Arizona will be adjusting to this new attacker role for them, as they've just played 6 rounds on defense on this map, hopefully trying to get some notes off of what Madison did well.
And some roam work coming out from Crux as they play inside of Trophy. Gonna use the 416, very strong defender weapon. Try to hold that down for themselves, using their 3 speed as well to have the ability to rotate out without really needing to sprint all too much.
Zerfon getting a nice pick off onto the Maestro. That's pretty key for those pesky plant denials.
And with the Evil Eye cameras not being able to be moved or operated anymore, that'll also be a lot denied vision as well for the defenders.
Oh, we're gonna see the bandit trick. No, that wasn't a bandit trick. That was a Cade trick.
Hearing them come in through the study door will give them a little bit of time that they need to sort of prep that wall. However, the Thatcher EMP taking that out means that that will not be possible in the future. So the thermite should be able to get that wall open now, assuming that they can get in without being peeked. Looks like shots going down from Crux, taking out a quick drone. They'll be spotted out and know that there is at least one trying to look for them, at least at the moment.
Gonna be seeing another pick go off from Zerfon, getting that double kill onto the Jaeger as well, putting both kills for him on the board. With only 55 seconds left in the round, there's gonna have to be a huge push coming from Arizona, as they're gonna have to go into another late plant with the defenders still anchoring on site. We're gonna see a couple more shots going off from Alex, the thermite, a couple of pre-fires.
Nakazi being ever so close to being peeked through the doorway here. Firewall still trying their best to get a good angle in these next few seconds, but Imperial doing a nice job holding that down from afar. Howard does have to be careful of the doorway from behind. Alex taking a bit of damage, but
Smoke's
able
going
to
up with the plant, the nitro getting tossed. Getting that pick off onto the thermite, they're gonna have to pick up the bomb and start that plant all over again. So they just have IQ now planting. Couple more picks coming off onto the two attackers, and now it being in a 3v1. Wait, sorry, that was a lag. A little bit of putting themselves into the all favored defender position with all three still being alive. You'd still get that plant or the defuse down, and they're gonna win the round. Sorry, that was really confusing. I lagged a bit. I lost my train of thought.
Madison doing a nice job of holding down sight, especially using their time very wisely near the end of the round, making the most of their defense setup, only peeking when they really needed to shut down plants, and that worked very well for them. Going to be up to Arizona to try to adapt their strategy, utilize that newfound information to their advantage, and try to adapt that to the trophy statuary hold. 6th pick from the Maestro to the Valkyrie, choosing from one form of intel to another, however, not as much plant denial here, as which could actually be rather important given that Madison or Arizona has chosen to bring a Monty.
The Monty being an interesting pick, because Monty's usually used to punish the defenders for not knowing how to really take care of them if they win the round, because that's all he's doing. And it's not really that he's a good operator in fragging sense, it's just more of distraction.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about having essentially a giant steel door walk at you, especially when you can't really take your eyes off of them because they could just drop the shield and ADS you if they really need to.
Also, Monty just being an oversized drone, essentially, just being able to ping things as defenders will push up behind him.
Looks like shots going towards what seems to be a drone from Crux. Bud making their way up onto the balcony just outside of bathroom window, trying to get a little bit of an angle set up, possibly do some drone work for their team. Looks like we're going to be seeing a rather master-oriented take here, not going to be worrying about any of the other areas of sight quite yet.
Going to be seeing Crux going downstairs for his roam. Going to try and pull off as much time as possible from these attackers, but still a minute into the round, and I don't think they've fully gotten into the building yet.
Looks like Baka using this time to do a little bit of drone work. They want to make sure that no roamers are going to be sitting below trying to hit a nitro cell that could take out the Monty that's so crucial to this push. Worth noting the EMP going down from Thatcher as well, going to be disabling that Maestro cam and opening it up to the shot, or the Valkyrie cam, sorry, as they also work to take out the Artilla Claws set up on triple wall.
The roamers doing quite a good job of just instilling fear in these attackers. They haven't really pushed much, so they're just running down the clock. And now a minute 30 or minute 20 into the round left. They just barely got into sight.
Monty using this opportunity to try to push at least a little bit with the backup from Bud on the rappel, as Zerfon, once on Astro Stairs, is going to be able to take out one, however getting refragged by Crux, traded back by Bud. Impressive coordination here. Crux almost able to take out the Monty, but able to get some shots down instead. Instead, Imperial just being able to take out Monty, as they will be retraded once again by Firewall, and Arizona is able to take the round for themselves.
And again, as soon as you hear that heavy shield clugging around, or clunking around, sorry, the map, it starts to make you a little nervous because you know what's about to come. And they kind of struggled on dealing with that Monty, which really led to the outcome of that round.
And especially going to be probably another bit of worry for Wisconsin here, as they are now on match point once again with the Monty being brought out. Nitro traded to Nitro, with Mozzie being there to deny some of the drone work that we saw from ASU, especially rooting out those roamers.
Better pick, in my opinion. Oh.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Okay.
And
Oh.
moving into the preparation phase, we will see the sort of triple wall being shotgunned out at least a little bit, possibly for some sound propagation. However, not really too major there, as it's going to be reinforced regardless.
Interesting to see the Mozzie instead of a pulse, because that pulse, again, would be so much better to deal with that Monty, especially from below. Providing almost the same, if not better, intel than Mozzie drones.
With Imperial noted to be busting out the top of triple wall, possibly opening that up for an impact trick, as it seems like Wisconsin going to be holding, once again, primarily second floor, if not devoting too many resources to first floor, but we do see one sort to rotate down, at least to a certain degree.
I'm going to see the same take, I'm assuming, of Master for the attackers to try and push into the site. Seeing Crux play downstairs as opposed to another operator with a C4. I'm going to see the Monty and IQ pushing together through laundry.
And very important to notice that hatch and how opening them up for a rotate, as they have not yet found the Jaeger on first floor. Looks like that could be actually quite important here coming up if an operator chooses to drop through the master hatch and get a flank onto the Monty and IQ. But no, instead, Crux taking this opportunity to rotate out back to safety, having already wasted a minute of time. Not going to try to play that for longer at the cost of their life.
And even with Crux being back into sight, he's still instilling that fear with that rotate hole that he can come behind the attackers at any moment, really allowing more time to be wasted just by slowing down and being more meticulous.
Bud using the concussion grenades on the lifeline to sort of root out the approximate location of Doc, will be now having to fight against, once again, the Monty IQ combo that was very effective last round, getting 3 operators with that, but no, Firewall taking out one, Bud taking another. It's all going downhill for Madison at the moment, as another one drops as well. Zerfon taking out a second, make that a third with Firewall, and Crux dropping.
4th and 5th quickly afterwards. Wisconsin or not sorry. Oh my gosh, Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin taking a very quick loss. Hopefully different outcome for their next map. Interesting to see how they will deal with the issues that were brought up within the first round of mainly just running down that time, not giving them enough time to really push anywhere.
No, and such a quick execute from Arizona is going to make for, like we saw, just a frag fest to finish off the round.
Fragfest, I like that one. I was gonna go more of a slaughterhouse, but
Both pretty accurate to describe how quickly we saw the kills rolling on the feed. But map 2, however, could be a completely different scene. We won't quite know until we get there. Looks like teams possibly choosing to take a quick break. If that is the case, we will be
3 minute
back.
break I think we are seeing from Wisconsin.
We will take this opportunity to take a little reprieve, let everyone get a quick break, and we'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes with map 2.
And we are back. Hello again. Quick refreshment break. Big things to note for this past round was the two big fraggers of that last game. Zephron going 10-5, and then Bud as well going 10-3.
And moving into map 2, Clubhouse, a very firefight heavy map. Going to be interesting to see whether or not they can keep those KDs as high as they were previously, especially with this being Wisconsin's map pick. Will be a way to see how they play on their own map.
Thatcher going to be a big ban. Going to have to force teams to play the Maverick Buck combo for a more reliable push onto either tub wall or CC wall. Teams both being very meticulous on their bans.
Yeah,
Taking
taking
a lot of time. For a Jackal, I'm gonna... Oh! Another gridlock! They just don't want to touch a gridlock. So we're gonna see Jackal in play for Wisconsin.
Yeah, Jackal and Maverick both on the board with Bandit being banned. That's going to be a tough spot for ASU to try to defend, especially with Cash and Church being so reliant on keeping hatches and walls hard and reinforced. With the option of being able to Maverick trick the walls, and also with the option of just being able to take really anyone and just run them through, is going to be very tough.
We're gonna see both Echo and Jacqueline play for I think the first time in a long time for me. I don't know about any of the other matches.
But yeah, and especially once again, almost all of the plant denial operators being on the board here, and it looks like the Jackal ban or Jackal not being banned is completely intentional from Wisconsin, as they're going to be bringing both Maverick and Jackal and Capito, the three probably most common bans we see on Clubhouse, all being brought at once, and such a huge combo on the CCTV cache hold as well. Maverick being able to Maverick trick cache wall, or Maverick trick CC wall. Oh, actually choosing to switch off of the Capitao, going to lose their ability to fire a bolt from garage into CC, but instead bringing the option to get rid of whatever gadgets might be in store for them. Worth noting as well, a Caveira being brought from Bud.
As opposed to a very powerful Jaeger, especially on this site, because as soon as windows get open, there's going to be utility flying through everywhere.
And with the Jaeger being not brought as well, like you mentioned, with all of the options for throwables, especially with Zophia's lifeline, possibly we could be seeing some throwables from Jackal as well, maybe a smoke grenade or two. That's going to be tough to counter.
Whereas the Cav is kind of a weaker pick, as with those reasons mentioning, but as well as most teams are going to travel with a partner. They're just cruising in twos, so you can't go for an interrogation unless they're by themselves, which is a later part in the round, but then at that point you're going to be seeing everybody, or you're going to hopefully have picks off everybody.
And especially with Maestro, I'm surprised that an Echo wasn't brought, although with the Maestro present, I suppose that makes up for that. However, Echo does have a very strong presence on Clubhouse due to having both an ACOG and such strong plant denial.
We're going to be seeing, we're 30 seconds into the round, and they're going to already have a pickoff onto the Cav.
Looks like Cav just not able to make it out of the bathroom rotate. Akazi doing a nice job of pinching that off with Crux. Very strong roam clear there, as they're able to take out possibly one of the biggest threats to this round's success in the first minute. That'll give them a lot of time to start working on their site execute. But surprisingly, no one yet working on opening up cache wall.
Seems like they're going to be taking a more construction strong arm push through with maybe a sprinkle of someone in garage for a crossfire. But we're going to be seeing someone playing Catwalk. Zerfon? Possibly Catwalk taking out that Jackal. Don't know if we got many pings off. from the Jackal,
And
but
Bomb located by attacker.
worth
Go ahead.
noting that, especially with the Jackal not being able to use those scans, it's going to be such a tough spot for Madison at the moment, as they don't seem to know that all of the defenders on site, almost all of the drones getting shot nearly immediately, a midway line being made by the Maverick here instead of trying to go for the trick. Will be an interesting way to get a sight line, but will not be able to get them inside of sight, at least at the moment, as drones coming out from Imperial.
we're gonna be a minute into the round with still that wall not being open, which is really interesting because that's something teams usually go for right away. We're gonna be seeing another pick coming off onto the Zofia, now putting it at a 4v3
And a
with a
thermite
Thatcher going, yeah, thermite going off.
thermite
Yes,
charge
right.
going off in garage, opening up sightlines onto balcony, but not going to be able to spot out Alex, as he is able to get some shots downrange. Not going to connect quite yet, but worth noting, Hydra taking out the black eye camera set up inside of garage. Flash is coming out, Nitro is going out, explosions everywhere as
Flashes,
Wisconsin tries
lots
to take
of
garage.
throwables.
And just like you mentioned, the throwable is going to be an absolute nightmare for any defenders up on that balcony with the presence of Jaeger not there. Alex trading one as BC takes out Firewall, but no, Arizona firing back, taking two to finish off the round. A triple kill for Alex.
What would you have done differently for this? I know what I would have done differently. But
Well, to start off, I want to mention the Maverick being able to take only a. I'm not sure if the Maverick ran out of fuel or if the
he
cut line
still
was
had 2 charges
intentional,
left. The
but
cut line
not
was intentional.
not being able to take out such a crucial wall for holding sight and being able to establish crossfires inside of CCTV to hold that sight down loses you a lot of pressure and forces you to rotate through garage, which is one of the hardest areas on Clubhouse to take without proper coordination and drone work.
Gonna be seeing our next pick off onto Church Arsenal, very known spot for teams to go to second. We're gonna be seeing that Val coming off again. I would like to see the intel that she's gonna be bringing for this one, if
And
that's possible.
knowing teams and their hold strategies inside of Church and Arsenal, I would not be surprised to see an impact trick get set up above the sort of weapon boxes inside of Arsenal towards the kitchen hatch. Cade tricking being so popular there. However, with the possibility of a Maverick being able to open those hatches, being able to open two in total using efficient fuel, that's going to be very tough for them to try to prevent. Really going to have to rely on roam clear to take out the Maverick before those hatches fall.
Valkyrie still hanging on to 2 of her cams. Doesn't really know where she wants to put them, I think, or she's just taking her time. She had to do some other stuff. And putting the last 2 in Moto and main stairs. So that's blue, main stairs, and Moto. Major 3 entrances that people don't usually cover, as opposed to the hatches in kitchen and more of blue stairs, because they have blue oil pit on cam.
Worth noting, an interesting use of Prismas by Bud to try to hold inside of blue. Already getting a nice peek right at the start of the round. Maverick off the board. That's a lot of worry really taken care of for Arizona, as they no longer have to worry about those hatches being opened unless by thermite. That's going to be really tough with Thatcher Band and Cade on the board.
I mean, you could always try and lifeline the Cade out, but
Correct. That's going to be a tough strat to pull off, especially with the roam presence from Arizona. Looks like Crux going to be using the Inox to try to find some footprints going in to minute 2 of the round.
still not much leeway made for the attackers. As soon as that Maverick came off, their push was halted, because now they have to readjust for many other things. We can see pings going off onto the Alibi from the Jackal. But she will be sitting in sight, so there's not much the Jackal can do about it.
And a brief glimpse there showing the exothermic charge going off on the dirt tunnel will be opening up a bit of an entryway for Madison to try to go through. However, they're going to be very pressured to try to actually make that work, as it doesn't look like they're actually going to go that way. And it not actually getting opened up, Cade doing a nice job of being able to trick that off the wall.
Cade being very crucial for this defense with another pick coming off onto the Thermite, and Jackal getting down very low. I think he's down, and now he's out. Sophia and IQ, or not Sophia, Sophia's hanging on. We're gonna see the IQ go down, and Sophia's gonna be leaving there with about 10 health and not much taken.
And it's all down to Akazi to try to hold this round out for Wisconsin, their last chance of salvation to try to bring back this 1v4 situation. Shots ringing out, not gonna connect. They're so low. Bud is at just over a few health points.
At 24 seconds, you gotta either try and save your KD if you really want that, or you're gonna have to push around a corner, but Zephron's gonna be right there.
Worth noting is Zerfon taking it out, Bud bringing out 3 for himself that round. Overall, a very, very roamer-heavy kill composition that time. Already a strong lead from Arizona, however, could very quickly go back in favor of Madison, as now having to choose gym bedroom, possibly one of the harder sites to hold on Clubhouse, especially with Thermite and Maverick being very strong operators for opening up Jacuzzi wall. They could be taken out quite quickly here.
The thing that you would be more effective for Hydra to pick instead of that Thermite might be a Buck, because you already have the hard breacher for that Jacuzzi wall, and you can get it. If with an effective Mav trick and Buck, you can probably get into tub wall in just under a minute. Whereas the Thermite, you can't place the charge, so you're gonna have to Zofia out the the Electroclaw, or you're gonna have to Zofia out the wall to then, but then there's no point in even bringing the Thermite, because there's I just confused myself. Wait a minute. There's no point in bringing the Thatcher or the Thermite if you're Mav tricking.
Right, and especially noting the pick of the castle in this situation, going to be quite strong to try to make sure that the Zofia has to use her lifeline charges to get sightlines used. Also, as well, noting that with the castle brought, that will pose possibly a bit of an issue using those as well, because spawn peaks, which we saw being used last round against the Thermite or the Maverick, will not be as easy to pull off.
20 seconds into the round, we are going to be seeing a take of. Okay, I lost where it was. Yes, CC almost. Oh yes, Zofia is now in CC. Drone's also coming out for the Zofia. We're gonna be seeing now 40 seconds into the round, and still not much progress done onto Jacuzzi wall, I don't think, from the Maverick. We're gonna hear a Thermite charge going on. Oh, a little bit. We're gonna see that middle strip again.
As the attackers try to breach their way inside of Cash here, Bud is going to be able to take out 1. Jackal off the board. Roam pressure very significantly reduced here. Bud able to take out a 2nd. That's Hydra down. All the hot breaches off the board, with the exception of the last few canisters from BC. Alex able to take out a Kazi, but taking shots in return. Imperial able to take out 1. Zerfon trading it back. 1v4 situation once again for Madison. Oh, this is going to be deja vu here as Imperial trying to take the round, dealing with runouts, able to take out 1.
But will he be able to take out 3 more is the bigger question. Definitely doable. Difficult, but doable. Gonna be seeing a lower floor take. Hopefully gonna try and pick out some of those legions from below that are being still thrown out by the our legion. gonna be a minute left, and gunfight going down. C4's out by both of them. All the C4's off the board, and now the last attacker off the board. Arizona's gonna win their 3rd round in a row with a nice flank.
Able to use that nitrocell on a little bit of a aggressive flank, but knowing that it was a 4v1, they could afford to lose 1 or 2 members in that fight. Going for some style points there, dropping the hatch with the nitro.
Hydra's still gonna be stubborn with that thermite, determined to get some walls open, just not the main walls. And we're not gonna see that Maverick anymore unless they 6-pick onto it. But I'm assuming they're gonna be going for another attempt at a cash room / construction take.
And as you mentioned, that construction take last time, not quite working out too well for them, but with the addition of the Capitao, with the smokes and the firebolts able to cut off a lot of rotations and sightlines, this could be a completely different round outcome.
And we're gonna be seeing the Jaeger, so that's also good in anticipation for all the Zofia hecticness that went on in previous rounds. It's going to be interesting to see if the construction cam will be a little bit different, because I think it was spotted out from the first time they played this site. Because there are a couple little sneaky Valk cams you can put in construction, little insider Valk secret. You can throw one onto one of the light bulbs so it blends in, just like you could on Oregon, which is a normal spot for most Valkyrie mains. You just hide it in that light bulb. The light will then kind of shade out the blue ring from the actual camera, and then you have a full camera into construction now.
And it looks like Zerfon going to be changing up the cam placements from previously, if only just by a little, making sure that they won't get too predictable and being able to be shot too quickly in the round. Rotate hole being made as well.
We're going to see a repel onto tub wall, I believe. They're going to try and, yeah, they're definitely going for a construction push. Now that tub wall has already been open, Prefire is going out through the bathroom to try and pick out that Jaeger that I don't think they know is there quite yet. But now they do, as bullets are going to be going off into the Capitao, and death coming upon the Capitao, as well as Zofia. But picking up another quick double kill, and we're going to bring it over to you.
And Bud being just seemingly unstoppable these past few rounds. Wow. Just dropping frags left and right, not able to any dents put in his KD so far. 5 kills over 3 rounds total so far for Wisconsin. They're going to need to get a few at least to get on the board. I believe Bud already having more than their team combined, at least at the moment.
7-2.
Yeah, what a scoreline. 3.5 KD, only 3 rounds in as well.
Quick
Baka
math
trying to
right
hold
there.
down the construction, as they know that Wisconsin has been pushing it quite heavily in the past. However, it looks like UWM taking the hint and rotating out at least somewhat to garage. Going to be using their exothermic charge to try to open that up.
And that roam from Bud actually doing a lot of damage to the team, not only through the 2 players that have been taken out, but as well as they've called off all of construction push. They're just flipped it right back around. We're also going to see Alex pick up 1 kill. We're going to see a 2nd kill, I'm assuming. And there's going to be the IQ just outside of the garage door, very obtainable for Alex or the Cade, but I believe it's going to be a flawless round. And is that, I can't see the name, Baka. I was going to say Brock, but I'm like, there's no Brock.
4-0 scoreline on defense so far for Arizona. Worth noting, Clubhouse, historically a rather defense-sided map.
As most maps are.
Yes. Heading back to basement, a very common sight as well. Could we be seeing a 5-0 scoreline? What are your thoughts, Awkward?
I think we could see 5-0. It seems very possible. They're going back into a really strong site. That's pretty hard to take with only those couple drop downs you can get into actual site, or everything else really being cut off by really hard angles to peak. Especially we're gonna have that echo on the board, so plant.
Defenders protect your
It's
bomb.
most likely not going to be going down if that echo is on the board,
And
especially
worth
with these late.
or-
Every time.
sorry, going on to the point of how important Echo is. Madison bringing all 3 hot breachers this time around. Going to be using those to try to just destroy any and all reinforcements to try to root out what seems to be the anchors that have been causing them so much trouble in the past.
So pretty nice prep phase. We're gonna be seeing the mute instead of the Cade, which is gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna adapt with that, because the Cade has been doing pretty well for them, especially when they're getting that early peek off onto the Maverick. It pushes all all force from those hatches everywhere else, which are a lot harder to take, like stairs. You either crouch peek it, you're crouching wider, you're gonna get picked, or you take a quick peek and you still get picked from either 1 or 2 different angles from like the main stairs or blue.
And BC going to be working their way towards garage, trying to go for what looks like to be either a secret or sort of a possibly garage take. Akazi wasting no time getting on the hatch with those Excaros pellets, making sure to take that out as quickly as possible. Might see an impact trick take those out, and it looks like that is the case. Impacts coming out from the Legion of Baka,
Will get
possibly
a
taking a
little bit
few.
of the hatch down though.
Actually, no, both impacts still on the board for Baka. Looks like a possibly missed Excaro shot, not going to get enough pellets on the hatch to be able to break it, just making a small hole.
Huh.
And it looks like still 2 Excaros on the pellet charges on the board. Akazi not going to go to open up that hatch, possibly sending in someone else to open that up with a bit less susceptibility to impact tricks. Possibly.
Because it's a pretty big hole beside it, because you can see the impact that was made.
For sure. And that's something that we just might not know.
We'll
But
never know.
regardless, it looks like Akazi is going to take this up and try to work towards blue as BC is droning out in ahead. Notices that Moto is clear, is going to try to play for the hatch, it looks like. Bud making
Beautiful
sightline
angle
for his
onto
oil.
it. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be focused on a drop through Moto, which could be pretty good for them, opening up either site, as I believe the Jackal is now down, as more teammates or team members from the attacking side are going to be going down. The Jackal's going to be falling. We're going to see some more picks coming off, lots of bullets flying, as it's now going to be a 5v2 in the matter of a couple seconds with only 43 seconds left on the clock. Your push is pretty much done at this point.
And with only 2 members left for Madison and 30 seconds on the clock, this is not looking too good for them so far. 2v5, one you want to be in, could end up in a 1vx, but we will see. Time once again taking down Baka, still watching that wall. Alex able to take out 1v5 situation. Not going to be able to take it out. Firewall with the SMG-11.
And it's still going to be a flawless for them. KD's saved. Congratulations.
Firewall hitting a nice shot down basement corridor to finish off the round.
We're going to have to see an amazing comeback from Wisconsin right now to see any sort of contest to this absolute steamroll of a match.
And with second floor being limited to gym and bedroom to Arizona, they will be relying a lot, once again, on holding down the sites as much as possible, just due to how many exterior angles they're presented with. However, they managed to do it last time. It'll be up to them to see if they can do it again.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I believe this is their offsite again, so they're going to be Gym bedroom, yes. We're going to be seeing Jaeger reinforcing into CC, as well as a rotation hold coming off into logistics from the castle, and just your average setups.
And that's pretty similar to what we saw last time as well. One reinforcement on cache, the other going into construction. However, it looks like the window's already being pre-prepped for the castle to put the barricades up on. The Zerfon one doing that little bit of prep work as they wait timeout to be able to throw their last black eye camera. A lot of Madison.
That one went on to the. Ooh, yeah, a lot of Madison spawning there. Sorry, keep going.
Just worthy to note that that could be a nitro cell possibility, but not going to use that instead. And as you're mentioning,
as I was mentioning, that Valkyrie cam, I think it was going on the smokestack, which is a really hard cam to spot because I know I use it, and it kind of blends in with the sky with that blue light. Another option for a good cam around that area would be the tree that you can throw it into, which is a little more finicky depending on how you throw it. We're gonna see that Maverick do that straight horizontal line across that wall again, not really getting much accomplished from the tub wall. Because they make that sight line almost every time. You have the thermite peek it, but nothing really comes from it, I don't think.
And drone work coming out from Wisconsin, using the small strip that's been cut in the jacuzzi wall, as Zerfon gets a headshot to start off the round once again. Jack taken out immediately, not something you want to see.
Jackal's been being taken out very quickly the past couple of rounds.
And Imperial getting a nice shot back onto Zerfon here. Valkyrie off the board. However, Valk will now be able to dedicate themselves to the black eye cameras, providing so much intel for their team.
I'm gonna see Maverick trying to take out that construction window, and Alex contesting in servers. We're gonna see that Maverick window being used against them though, as Bud's gonna pick up a kill for another kill for the defenders. We're gonna see that bedroom window being open. A couple peeks getting off onto either Imperial or the Maverick. With a 3v4, still winnable for Wisconsin.
Especially with two defenders on ASU being low health, and as I say that, Bud is taken out. Firewall able to almost get a shot, but is going to be able to take out one. Baka also grabbing one as well, but getting traded out in the process. 1v2 for BC, going to get taken out from the prone Cade in the hallway. Finishing the round 0-6 in favor of ASU.
It looked like it was going so well for Wisconsin until they hit that last couple seconds.
And as we mentioned earlier, those last 20 to 30 seconds being so crucial every round so far, being when all the action seems to happen is Madison just barely running out of time.
So now we're going to be seeing a little bit different of a setup. We're going to be seeing the smoke go off. They were hovering the Valkyrie. Interesting to see if they will 6-pick off of it, or they're just going to leave it because now they have a Mozzie. Oh, and as I say that, they were hovering the Valkyrie. Going to be CC Cash. Nothing to note. We're going to be seeing the Buck, but not the Maverick to go along with it. So we're going to see a Thermite and Buck. So it's going to be interesting to see how they... Oh, wait. There's no hard breach denial. Never mind.
Oh, no. That could be pretty bad for Arizona here.
Let's go in depth. I was like, wait a minute. They don't have nothing to do with that.
And with no hard breach on the board, that could be an absolutely free take of CCTV from Arizona if they're able to get that Thermite on the wall.
I mean, this was Wisconsin's pick, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that they have a beautiful hold for this map, or this site.
I would hope for that as well, as this is their one shot to start working on their comeback, or else take the series 0-2.
And at this point, there's not much you can do other than tie it up, which gives you... They'll have 1 loss and a tie, which is still 0 points for CEA? No.
Yes,
Yes, it is. I was right. Yeah. I'm smart. I have big brain.
big brain. And a tie would be the optimal outcome of this match. We'll see. Alex, wasting no time getting that exothermic charge, realizes there are no hot breaks. Is going to keep that open. And open it will be. Firewall already going to be peeking it, setting up those air jabs inside, cutting off rotates quickly as possible.
That's
Drone
30
work.
seconds into the round.
Yeah, and drone work coming
Great
out
time.
from a lot of ASU already, trying to take out any attackers. Zerfon taking a first kill of the round. A second coming out from Baka. That'll be both roamers off the board. Zerfon traded back, however, by Crux as he's able to take out one. BC trying to play from above, try to hold this out for his team.
Good hold.
Shots raining out as Kazi tries to make their way back to site with Crux.
Bud the Buck gonna be pushing through red stairs, taking... Oh, it was a trade from Baka and... we're gonna have the Jaeger at very low health. Bud's gonna be taking out the Valkyrie, who has at full health, and Crux is at basically no health in a 2v1.
Frag grenade being pulled out, that could be absolutely lethal. Going up the stairs, Bud able to take the last shot. Arizona 7-0 map 2. Thoughts on
That was
that,
Wisconsin's
Awkward?
pick. That was Wisconsin's pick. That was crazy. You at least see some like contest with that being your pick, but just didn't really work out that way for Wisconsin. But me being caster, I don't know if this was their first time playing this map and they wanted to practice it in a game instead of a scrim, but it happened the way it did. They took a little too long on rotates, and they didn't bring hard breach denial when needed, which was really the whole game bunched up into that last round.
And either way, thank you to both teams for coming today, and good game to both of them. We'll have a post-game interview coming up in just a second if we can get a member from ASU. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, very interesting.
Welcome back. We are here with the post-game interview, bringing you Zerfon from ASU. Zerfon, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Um,
pretty strong match there today, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say that this match was honestly one of our better ones.
Oh.
And very strong it
Um,
was.
So you picked the first map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we picked Villa.
So Villa for you, that seemed like a very strong point with only losing 2 rounds. But then we move over to Clubhouse, which you also seemed very strong on. What do you think were some key moments for your team and their success?
Honestly, it's mainly just our synergy at this point. I feel like we generally know what each other are going to do, and we can play off that. There were multiple times where we just knew what to do when walking into the building. We didn't fully have to communicate it. Of course, we did have little trip ups here and there, but we were able to work past them pretty easily.
Absolutely.
And
Oh, go ahead, Enrage.
building off of that, as you mentioned, there were a few hiccups, but it seemed like you took care of them pretty quickly. Would you say that that was your main driving force going into map 2, was that being able to take care of those and really just iron out any sort of small problems you had?
Yeah, it is, especially because we've been able to work more with our current roster. We've been able to practice more, and not only that, we've met up in real life a lot more too. So, yeah, we're generally just closer, and along with that, we just practice a lot more.
That's great. I know practice is crucial for anything really, but like especially getting to know your team is also really nice because you can now bond over something that is such a beautiful game, glitchy game, but still beautiful as Siege, but you also just get that bonding experience and you just know how each other play without even having to practice with each other because you just learn how each other's thinks.
Yeah, that's one of our strong suits, I'd say.
And would you say for practice, does meeting up in person, obviously it seems to help for you, and I mean, that's shown by your performance today, but would you say that having, it seems like you had pretty defined strategies on both attack and defense. Would you consider those a main part of your team preparation as well?
Yeah, we generally do have strats for all the maps that we think that we're good at least. So for club and villa, we generally have predefined strats. I think for maybe only a map or two, a site or two, we don't. But those are also our stronger sites, so we can just put down whatever, and then we continue working on it by building more strats with our coach and with each other, so that we can get even better at these maps.
And speaking of sites, it seemed like your offsite holds were quite well rehearsed. Are those something that you practice often?
Yeah, what we do try to do is make sure that we don't want to get picked, obviously, when people come to roam hunt. So Bud and I have been practicing together a lot to make sure that whenever we're off site, we can cooperate with each other and go off what each other do to make sure that both of us stay alive while inflicting as much damage as possible.
Very nice.
We're gonna end off with one last question. This one's a question for not only you, but you can kind of talk on your team's behalf about it. But what do you have any pre-game rituals that you like to do before like the game starts? Like listen to music or anything like that?
Well, Bud likes to crank up his rap music at full volume to annoy not only his dorm mates and his dorm neighbors, but also the people in chat, which is us.
Very nice.
It's a great one. Um, I think that will be it for tonight. That was ASU versus Wisconsin. I've been awkward.
I've been Enrage,
And
and
I'm
thank you.
Zerfon.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming on with us tonight.